too.
I sold that. There was a slide here, climbing slide. I sold it. I'm going to buy. I actually bought a partition here. I'm gonna make this like a separate room.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because some kids are like running
Distracted.
around. Yeah, and I'm trying to get rid of this too because some kids will lie down.
Oh, really?
And they will like hide their hands like this, and so I'm gonna get rid of this and I'm gonna put just these
Is
chairs
this
here.
new? This chalkboard?
No, this has been here.
Oh, I didn't see it. And that's the chalkboard paint.
Yeah,
That's a good
so we did
idea.
that. Yeah. So I'm gonna make this part like a waiting room, and I bought a really big partition here. Like
That's
it's
a
almost
really
up
good
to the
idea.
ceiling.
Yeah.
All right.
And this
yeah.
could be the classroom.
And yeah. So okay. So I am doing a lesson about art, and Amy can help me today. Da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was a real genius, and he lived during the time called the Renaissance. So Leonardo, Leonardo, da Vinci, Vinch. Da Vinci means of Vinci, and Vinci is a town in Italy.
Let me hold the teddy bear, Sam.
So Vinci is a town. So this means Leonardo of Vinci. So it's like Samantha of what's the town?
Marlton.
Marlton.
Yeah.
It's like Samantha of Marlton. Leonardo da Vinci. Okay. So he's most famous as an artist. Artist. He is most famous as. Are we using this? We're using both, right? As an artist, artist. Artist. Right? Go ahead. Go ahead. That's A. A-R, T. I says it, artist. I said it, go ahead. S. Artist. T. Artist. T. Thank you. However, he was also an architect. Architect. An architect, and also he was a lot of things. A scientist. He was also a scientist, mathematician. He was also something else here. Inventor. Okay, Inventor. An architect designs what? An architect designs things like what? H. O. H-O. U. S. And yes, like how it's good. So he's most famous as an artist. He didn't have any formal education. Education. He didn't have formal what? Formal education. Education. Go ahead. You want to use the stencil? Education. Go ahead. Education. No. Education. 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 C. Asian. A. Which T N. I N O N. And education means he didn't go to what? S. First C. C. And then H. He didn't go to, you're right. CH. He didn't go to SCH. He didn't have formal education means he didn't go to SCH. We got S. C. SC. Go ahead. SC. Go ahead. H. Then the next letter S. Go ahead. The next letter S. Go. O. The next letter S. Go. The next letter S. So let's go. Good. When he was So his father saw his artistic talent, 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 and so he sent Leonardo to a famed sculptor, Sculptor, named Andrea del Verrocchio of Florence when he was 15 years old. Okay, a sculptor makes sculpture, S-C-U-L-T, sculpture, T-U-R-E. Sculptures are things like objects, people, or anything. Could be abstract shapes, anything that is three-dimensional. 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 Now, dimensions are things that you can measure, such as this is a dimension. This is dimension. This is a dimension. And this is a dimension. So this one is, tell me how many dimensions. This flat thing. How many dimensions do you think? How many? It is actually, let's count. One. And yes, so this is two-dimensional. So this has a height and this is a width, but there's no depth. So this is two-dimensional. So sculptures are three-dimensional. So artists use things like wood, clay, stones, metal, anything, right?
Yep.
To make three-dimensional objects or people, statues or
Marble,
things like
plaster, all
marble, plaster. So he studied with this sculptor, famous sculptor, in Florence. So Leonardo da Vinci's most famous artworks, probably two of most famous artwork. One is, let's see if you know this. You know her name?
Oh. Yeah.
Let's see if you know. M O. You're right, M-O. Mo. You're right. Mo. We're talking about that. Painting. Mo. Mo. M. O. You're right. Keep going. And go. Go. Mona. L. What? Wait. L. Focus. L. Mona. O. Go. I. Mona. Finish. S. And all the way up. You're right. So when you want to reach 8, you're not reaching enough. Okay? So you have to lift your elbow like that. Okay? So you think you're reaching 8, but you're actually poking F. So you really have to lift your elbow. Okay? Yes, Mona Lisa. So this is one of his famous artwork. So this, I don't know why this is so famous.
They say, I don't know, they try and figure out who it was, but they think her face is, and follows you. Like that it's so dimensional that no matter where you stand,
No matter
it kind of
where you are,
follows you.
she's like looking at you, right? Yeah. And also, people talk about her
Smile.
yes, smile, mysterious smile. So, the other one that I'm going to talk about today is this. So this is called the Last Supper. THELASTSUPPER. The last what? The last. Go ahead. S. U. P. Another P. 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 All the way across. And. Oh. Supper. Yes. What is a supper? Another word for supper would be H. Okay. Okay. Another word for supper would be. Go ahead. H. Okay. Your word. H. Go ahead. Another word. H. A. Good. Okay. Your word. H. A. Go ahead. Keep going. Another word for supper would be. What is supper? You're explaining what is the supper. what a supper is. H. A. Go ahead. V. H. A. V. Go ahead. H. A. V. Keep going. H. A. V. Go. H. A. V. Supper is H. A. V. H. A. V. H. A. V. Finish the word. H. A. V. E. Have. Yes. Have what? N. Have. N. Okay. Have N. Oh, M. Okay. Have M. Supper means have what? M. M. Go. M. Have M. What do we have? E. Yes. M. E. Have M. E. Go. See, I think you mean A. So you're gonna lift your elbow. A. Me. Yes, supper means me. The last letter is me. Me what? Me. Meek or meal? Meal. Yes. Meal. Yes. Meal. Yes. They're having meal. They're having dinner. So this is. Can you tell who this is? The person in the center? This is somebody very important. Who's that? N. Go ahead. N. N. O. N. O. Keep going. N. O. S. T. Okay. Do it again. N. O. T. Not. S. Not S. Keep going. Not S. Keep going. Finish the word. Not S. Not S. Finish the word. Not S. S. Go ahead. Not S. Can you tell me? Not S. U. Not S. U. Go. R. Okay. Up. Not sure. Okay. This is Jesus. This is Jesus Christ. In the middle. He's having the Last Supper with his apostles. Apostles. His followers. Now, this is from the Bible. When Leonardo was asked to paint this on a wall, W-A-L-L. So this is actually painted on a, yes, W. And you have to lift your elbow. A. W-A, good. L. L. Yes. Wall in a dining room. N-N-I-N-G. Of a monastery. M-O-N-A-S-T-E-R. Monastery in Milan. Yeah, this is in Milan. Monastery. A monastery is a building where monks live. MONKS. So a monastery is a building where who live? First O, O and N, mon, mon, K and make a plural as monks live and worship. So this is in a dining room. When he was asked to paint, this is where you can help, invented a new technique. Traditionally, they used a technique called fresco. 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 So fresco, artists paint on plaster. Plaster. Artists paint on what? L. See, you have to lift your A. S plus T E N plaster, and they have to paint really quick because they want to paint before the plaster gets dry. DRY. So this is because the paint will sink in.
Sucks it in.
Yeah. That's why. So they have to finish before it gets dry and hardened. Now he didn't want to do the fresco technique because he wanted to take time. Because there are lots of details. So he said, I need more time, so I can't do the fresco. So plaster. So artists have to paint before it gets dry. R dry. I E N dried. Yeah, dry. So what is the opposite word of dry? The word dry. The opposite of dry is when things are not dry. Yes, I'm not sure. If you put the laundry in your dryer before they get dry, they're all laundry. You wash your clothes in water, and they're all wet before they're dry. They're all W. Yes, they're all W, and you have to lift. W N doesn't make sense. W. You need a go. And yes, they're all wet. Yes, just antonym. Okay. Anyway, so he invented some kind of technique which I am not sure, but he painted on. I read he painted on a dry stone wall instead of plaster.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I read it. I didn't know either, but he refused to do the fresco, and so he painted. He made some technique which I don't know, and then he painted on stone wall instead of the plaster. STONE, stone. So he painted on STO store. And thank you. Now this technique was actually a failure. FAILURE. It was actually a failure. So by the early 16th century, the paint started to flake and decay, and it was a disaster. And they had to restore. RESTORE. So they had to restore his art. They had to restore. Yes. Thank you for reading. Good. And it took 19 years. So the serious restoration started in 1980. Before they tried it, and it was a disaster. So in 1980, restoration started, and it took 19 years. 19 years to complete the restoration. 19 years. How many years? 1 and 19 years. But it actually lost most of its original paint. Another thing that he did that was, it was not his invention, but this was a newer technique during this time. It's called Renaissance. Was a one-point perspective. Mm-hmm. So before, the artists drew pictures just like, I'm not an artist, so I'm doing this. Sorry, this is where Amy can help. So it looks all flat. There's no depth. Like there can be a bird, clouds, like everything is in the same plane. Flat. It's very flat. So this is very what? Flat. Yes. So this is two-dimensional. There's no depth. There's no depth. D-E-P-T-H. There's no what? There's no D-E, depth. Go, depth. Next letter is depth. Right? Depth. Depth. You know what? If you can either here or here, your elbow, instead of on the rest. Depth. T-N. T-N. T-N-H. Where's H? H is here. T-N-H, yes. So 1 point perspective. P-E-R-S-P-E-C-T-I-V-E. So if you look at this, so this is the ceiling, and there are some lines here. And if you draw lines, this line, this line, this line, this line, this line, they all meet at 1 point. 1 point here, which is Jesus in this painting. All the lines meet on his face. Why do you think all the lines meet on his face, not his face, not him? Because in this painting, in this scene, he is the most what? He is the most, what do you think? All the lines meet on his face because he is the most M-O-S-T. He is the most, and go ahead. O-N-O-T. On N-O-T. He's the most N-O-T. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go. Okay, do you want F or A? Because TF doesn't make sense. N-O-T. And you went that way. And you have to have a vowel. Yes. B. Good. Next is L and E. Most notable person. Very nice.
Very good.
Very nice. Yes. He's the most important, most notable person in this scene. So that's why all the lines meet on his face. This way, people will look at him first, right? Also, there's a depth. So you see some sceneries outside of this building, and they look small, means, so everything small in a picture, is it close or far? Things that are small in a picture, they are F, yes, they are F, A, and F, A. Go ahead, poke it. R. Far, yes, they look far. So that's 1 point perspective. And we can try. Okay, can you put that? Okay. So we're gonna decide where all the lines meet. Can you pick a point anywhere? Okay, that's good. Oh, here, right? And then we draw lines like that.
Hold your pencil close to the bottom, Sam, so you have control. Atta girl.
Go ahead. Good. 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 And then we can draw. Maybe you can help. Can you draw something like buildings or something?
Want to draw a house? If we have 1 point perspective on a house, you hold the pencil close to the bottom so you have nice control. A little closer. Okay, draw a point. Draw a different point. Let's draw that. Go ahead, a little circle. Good. Yeah. This is your circle, right? We'll draw a big point. So everything's going to lead, let's put it this way, everything's going to lead to this point. So we're going to draw a square. So if we have the first square, that's the front of the house. Now the top of the house is going to lead to this point. So you go and start on the corner and draw a line, a straight line, so we trace it to your point. Go ahead. Start on the outside of there. Go against this. There you go. Now the other side is going to lead to that point. Start at the corner of the top of the house. Good. And the bottom too. The bottom point. So we get the side of the house. The corner, put it right in the corner of the square. So your shape goes towards that point and gives you dimension like you talked about.
Good, thank you. So all the lines meet at this point. So that's why it's called 1 point perspective. So you can draw anything. So now remember this time of this era, they didn't have cameras. So they didn't have what? They didn't have camera. Camera. Write it. C-A-M-E-R-A. Camera. They didn't have C for camera, A for camera. There's camera. Camera. Yeah. So you really wanna reach. Okay, good. That means they didn't have what? They didn't have any of these. Phone or iPad. They didn't have any of they didn't have camera, so they didn't take any. They didn't take any. P. P. Go ahead. P. Go ahead. Next letter is. They didn't take any. P. Next letter is. Go ahead. They didn't take any. Go ahead. Next letter is. Go. Next letter is. H. PH. Good. PH. Next letter is. Go ahead. Go. Go ahead. O. PHO. Next is. PHO. PHO. They didn't take any. PHO. Okay. E. Go ahead. P. H. PH. O. Next is TN. TN. Yes. Photos. Yes. They didn't have any photos. They didn't have pictures. So they had to see with their eyes and figure out how to depict that scene. So they had to translate the 3D world into the two-dimensional plane like this. So I think it's hard to do that, right? Like now we think, oh, of course, but if without photos, we're looking with our naked eyes, and we have to see it, and we have to express that on a two-dimensional plane. So I think it's really hard. Anyway, so that was the newer technique around this time. Okay, now let's talk about some words. I'm just checking. Yeah, I think I talked about everything. Okay, so Italy. So Leonardo da Vinci was born and lived in Italy. If you go to Italy, what would you like to do? If you go to Italy, what would you like to do in Italy? Okay, R. Go ahead. Go ahead. E. R-E. R-E. N. Okay. Okay. R-E. N. Go ahead. Next letter is, let me write that. R-E-N. The next letter is